So another little view here, the UN, and then down this brick building here. I don't know what this is. It's some kind of service. It almost looks like a breather for a tunnel, but the tunnel is further south, Midtown Tunnel. But I wanted to show you this green clad fence and then stick our camera in this little crack, because through here is this huge area yet to be developed. And at this point, who knows, the legal wrangles and bangles that are stopping it from being developed. I think this was a Con Ed site for years, steam generating plant. I don't know if you know, there's a lot of steam pipes under the ground in Manhattan that bring heat to all the big buildings so they don't have to have boilers in their basements. And I think there was a steam generating plant here. And now it's a field, which probably is a habitat for some lovely birds, but nobody wants you to get in there and see them. So I just thought it would be fun to take a quick look through this little fence. Come back out. And there's a service I don't know about, the New York State TBTA. They get their own cars back to the city. My curiosity got me to ask the police, it's the Triborough Bridge and Tunnel Authority, that's the police car. And then I saw this shot, the Chrysler building. And then we get to pan over and see the UN in another nice angle. And the nice officer told me that this is in fact a tunnel vent, or breather. I call them a breather. So the Queens Midtown Tunnel is getting vented, so when you drive through there the next time, you can thank that building there for providing you fresh air. Pretty much, well, all the tunnels in New York have those. If you look at either end of where the tunnel is, you'll often see an edifice that is strangely anonymous, and it is transferring air in and out of the tunnel. Somebody ripped a hole in the fence. Nice view, right? Looking over to Brooklyn. There you go. The making of a field. There's a famous French poet, Francois Ponge, and he wrote a long poem called The Making of Prey, The Making of the Field. I always think of that book when I look at a place like this, where you can see cottonwood trees. Those are the taller plants. I see a little sparrow down there. And what else? Probably got some mugwort, some different grass, this brown grass. I'm not sure what that is. There's a famous grass called Timothy grass. I bet that's down there. Oh, and then there's some kind of, is that actually bedrock? Or are those just piles of debris from the older building? Hard to know. Looks like there may be some bedrock down there. And any other plants that I can definitely identify? No. I'm not that good with plants. Maybe I would have seen some milkweed or something, but I don't know what these tall ones are. There may be some goldenrods down there. So anyway, beautiful field here between, I guess, about 39th Street, 38th Street, and 42nd. Check out this new Batman building. I never saw this before. Real Batman architecture. This is just south of the UN. And opposite from our field. And then this one, which is, new meant to look old. And then this fascinating housing behind here, which has been up for a while. You see those round, you can imagine in that space, those round apartment windows. So, the east side, always interesting. And here comes the morning rush hour up First Avenue. First Avenue. COVID-19 coming back. course, we do know that the entire nation now seems to be awash in virus. So we are an island at this point, surrounded by virus. Don't know what we're gonna do. How we can stay safe. There's that weird round building with the clouds. And then if I pan down, this is the entrance here, going from my right to left means tunnel. So the tunnel's going under us. And then I want you to see this building that I just noticed in the last shot. This sort of like somebody got their computer going and decided that this would be interesting to build. This sort of cantilever-y, I don't know what you call it. Very strange edifice. I guess it's apartments. Maybe it's part of a hospital, I don't know. And then this sad piece of who knows what, a cube of boring glass and brick. Oh, it's not a cube, it's some kind of an angle. But that's a duller than dishwater building. Here you got the people coming out of the tunnel. And you've got that weird angled building. And the tunnel will go down under the river into the bedrock where they drill the tunnel through the bedrock. The river is over the bedrock, over the bottom of the river, and you drive through a tunnel in rock with water above you. So we came over here to the end of 34th Street, and here's a new building I'd never seen before. It's an NYU Langone Children's Hospital with this weird taxi cab balancing on the nose of a Dalmatian wearing a mask. And then if we pan over, back up the building slightly and to the right, here would be an example of, perhaps this is a vent for the Midtown Tunnel, which wouldn't be surprised if that's it, although it seems a strange place right next to a children's hospital. So, but this is the kind of nondescript building I'm talking about that you'll often see near a tunnel, sucking bad air out, putting good air in, because of course you've got the car exhaust in the tunnel. You couldn't let that just sit there. This is a vent, but not for the Midtown Tunnel. This is for Amtrak. So train tunnel right next to the hospital. And then if we spin around, well, we end up seeing two of my favorite strange apartment buildings, these beehives, I always call them. Kind of like part of the brutalist architecture movement of probably poured concrete in this grid. And then if we go further left into the emergency entrance for NYU Langone, looks like another tunnel venting system. Probably not related to the hospital, but happens to be here. And the hospital is built around it. So all sorts of interesting things everywhere in a big city like ours. It's true, one of the eternal questions in New York is who actually spits their gum out on the sidewalk? Well, clearly a lot of people. But I stopped just to give you another look at my Beehive apartment building. As I said, probably poured concrete in that grid, and then we get the iconic Empire State Building just to the right, which is also a limestone building and has an interesting history in terms of its foundation and construction. It's got a huge foundation, much bigger than any skyscraper would today. But honeycomb and honeycomb. And going back, I didn't really say anything, but these people here in the middle have made a nice use of their window. They don't own the apartment below, so they could only do black lives and then a heart with an exclamation. They'll have to buy the apartment or get those people to write matter in their windows. So here's the honeycomb, the beehive, and I got closer because I just wanted to confirm that it is indeed poured concrete. So they made a mold, a frame, and poured the concrete in, and then went up, 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 up. And this is a building that has 4 sides with windows, so all the services are in the middle. Elevators, electrical, plumbing, all then distributed out to the apartments. And you can see right through the first floor, or the ground floor. Who knew the Beehive people get a beautiful little garden behind their beehive? Manicured lawn, benches, trees, flowers, birds, and the second beehive off in the distance.